Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. I am back with another twin flame collective energy update and reading with the help of our tarot and oracle cards. Thank you so much for joining. If you can hear purring, that is my cat. We are here. We've got a cat. We've got lots of decks to work with, and we are ready to channel into this energy. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Get cozy. Hopefully you have something warm to drink or cool, depending on where you're at. And let's dive right into it. So immediately I am getting the Devil, the Ten of Wands, and the Five of Cups. So I'm very strongly picking up with the Devil on these toxic habits or patterns, or this feeling like we don't have power over our life, or that we're in some kind of prison, or that we're a victim to our external circumstances. Any or all of these may be familiar to you, either recently or from your past. And same with the Five of Cups, and I'm getting chills channeling into this feeling of disappointment. But what I'm getting is that with the Ten of Wands as well, showing us that we just feel like we can't take another step further, that it's just feeling like we're limited, that we can't survive. What I'm getting is this beautiful energy of like, this is like us in the past. Like we're looking back at this energy, remembering what it felt like to feel this way, remembering that we used to exist in this state, and remembering that we have the inner knowing and intuitive wisdom to proceed in these moments with faith and with love. And so if you're listening to this, you could be at any part of this journey. You may feel very deep in this energy of the Devil, the Five of Cups, the Ten of Wands. And, in previous readings, I've also been I literally got the Five of Cups in the last reading we did, and I'm getting chills channeling into this again. It's like both times I've started talking about the Five of Cups, I'm getting chills. So I think we should channel more into that. But if you're feeling this energy, and that's what I was saying, like in my past readings, they've definitely all started with this kind of hopeless energy, and yet they've transformed into such powerful outcomes. And so wherever you're at in your journey, if you're feeling like you're deep into this energy, or maybe you feel like you're kind of making your way out of it, but it's still a little bit muddy or sticky, or there's still some limitations you can't quite seem to beat, the message here is that like this is the ebb and flow of life, and you're on a beautiful transformative soul journey. And so even when it's so hard to feel this way, if you can get yourself into that mindset of just slowly re-narrating the story, instead of it being, I'm a victim of this is happening and it sucks and it's bad, being like, wow, this is a huge opportunity for me to learn from. Or, wow, I'm going to become so resilient from this. And however you need to do it in baby steps to get yourself to a place where you can kind of overcome that powerless energy, because ultimately only you can do it. There's really nothing externally in your life that's going to come in. Even if you made all of the money, your twin flame came to commit to you, you got a promotion, you had an influx of a lot of new friends. Like there's really no external circumstance that will get you to this place of overcoming this energy, because it has to come internally. And so if you can remember that, and in those moments of wishing that your external circumstances were different, instead pivot it and take it inward, you'll be able to recognize actually how much power you have to tap into your divine creator energy, that your internal highest self that you can tap into. So I want to channel more about this Five of Cups energy, because I'm feeling like this is something that the collective is really strongly feeling, like sorrow. Maybe you've recently had a separation with your twin flame, and maybe you're looking back, you're feeling like you made a mistake, or you made mistakes while you were in contact, or maybe you feel like you regret certain decisions you made, or you feel like you've just lost something and you feel like just hopeless, or like your life is lacking purpose or value. And the message, without even pulling any additional cards yet, like the message behind the 5 of Cups is that you have the power to change your perspective, right? Like, because in the 5 of Cups, 3 of the cups have spilled over, but there's still 2 full cups behind them. So, right, the message here is that you don't need to focus on what your ego perceives to be a loss, because ultimately there is no loss that you can't survive, right? Like, even when we genuinely lose things in life, things that were meaningful to us, ultimately we still have everything within us that we need to move forward. And as difficult as it can be, because I don't want to like spiritually bypass or brush over the difficulties of these moments of regret and grief and sorrow, because I really want to honor space for that. I also want us to be focusing on our heart, and our heart, again, may need to grieve, may need to feel that sorrow. But ultimately, when you tap into that inner divine energy, your heart will lead you back to joy and compassion and forgiveness. So I want to see what else, knowing that, I want to see what we can channel going forward, especially in these next few months where I feel like collectively the twin flame energy is just so strong as we're finishing up this year. Wow. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So this is 2 aces coming out, is a huge message about a new beginning, a new opportunity. And if you're in separation, this very well may mean that you're going into union with your twin flame. However, you have to take the message only as it resonates, because what I don't want to do here is just say messages that will comfort or put your ego at ease. I want us to be not seeking for external validation through these readings, but rather always connecting with our intuition. So if it feels right for you, then take the message. Otherwise, the aces could be representing a new start in your own personal life, or other aspects of your life or areas of your life that are not related to your twin flame. But ultimately, I've said this in previous readings, but the twin flame journey is about union of self and the balancing of your inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine. It's really not about the other person. So ultimately, you don't need union with your twin flame in order to have a successful twin flame journey, because the twin flame is really just a tool for you to achieve union with the self. And so I hope that makes sense, because I really want it to be clear that like this isn't about the end goal being union with the person. This is about the end goal being union with the self. And we get there by balancing our inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine. So when we talk about these aces and this energy of a new beginning, like it could very well be with another person, but there are so many other ways that a new beginning can form. And especially for those of us on this twin flame journey, as you're going through life, navigating through life and constantly ebbing and flowing, and your soul is transforming daily, especially if you're listening to this video, Spirit is saying you are a highly transformational person. So don't think that the ultimate new beginning for you in your life is a union with this other person. There's so much more within you. There's so much more to you and what makes you you and what makes your soul's essence than just this other person being the physical manifestation of this other person. even if they are your soul and your twin flame. So Spirit just wants to emphasize, like, remember to see your life as big as you can and see it bigger than you see the other person, right? Like, that's union with the self. That's you calling back your power and coming back home to yourself. So when we see the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, or any ace or any card that could even if it could only remotely symbolize union or like partnership, remember that there's so much more than the literal reunion of a relationship, because your life is so much bigger than you can even consciously understand, like in the body and the mind that you're given. Like, your existence and your soul's essence is so much bigger than you can imagine. And so just remember that, because then you'll start to see in perspective what a small piece of this giant energetic essence your twin flame really is. So with the Ace of Wands, I'm definitely getting this like passionate new start. So like there may be some creative project that you have been wanting to start, or that maybe you have already started, and Spirit is saying keep going. Like, continue feeling that enthusiasm and optimism, because that is what's going to attract more abundance in this project. So again, this could be a business, this could be an artistic pursuit, but the main thing for you to know is that this is to follow that spark of energy, because this is what creates life. Like, this is what creates art. And so the fact that you are being blessed with these ideas or projects and opportunities is a beautiful part of your soul's journey. And then with the Ace of Pentacles, I'm definitely getting like that this is leading to a material success. You know, you may feel like you want to turn a creative hobby into something that will make money. And with the combination of the Ace of Wands and Ace of Pentacles, I'm definitely getting that that's not just an option or a possibility, but a very high likelihood if you continue to follow that spark and that grounding energy of the Ace of Pentacles. So I'm really just feeling like you're going to be getting a lot of good luck, and it's going to feel like magic. And the sooner that you can embrace that and own it and really confidently embody that, the smoother and the faster you will begin to see those results. And so really allow these sparks to come through and manifest into the abundance that you envision. So what else can we channel here? I want to pull more about this new beginning and what the collective can be doing to help us in these heavy times with our twin flame journey. So we've got the Justice card, really interesting. So I'm getting that like there's this need for balance. Like, you may have spent a lot of your twin flame dynamic sacrificing yourself for the other person or for the connection, like the relationship as a whole. And yeah, we're getting the Four of Swords. So I'm getting that like there's something that needs, like when the pendulum swings one way, it's going to swing back the other way is what I'm hearing. So like there's something that was wronged that needs to be made right. So if you felt like you were giving too much or draining yourself at the expense of your own livelihood, for the purpose of making a connection work, justice is needed for yourself and by yourself. So this project, symbolized by the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, is showing you that like you can overcome and balance the people pleasing and the overgiving that you once, fell down that slippery slope. You can overcome it by putting and redirecting that energy into these creative projects. And with the Four of Swords, like taking that time to reflect on what you are trying to achieve and what you want your life to look like, and allowing yourself that time to rest. Like the Ace is the beginning of this new journey. So give yourself that time to rest, because you want to make sure that you are completely rejuvenated, especially if you've gone through a period where you were overgiving. It's going to take some time for you to recover. And I'm hearing your angels and guides want you to know, like, you are on the right path. Give yourself that time to rest and really reflect on what you need, so that when you begin on these projects, you will have that energy and you will have that clarity. And especially for those of you listening who are women and have a menstrual cycle, I'm really strongly getting from your angels and guides to pay attention to your cycle. Like if you're not cycle syncing, you should really get on that. Like you should be knowing what cycle you're in on any given day. And I know with certain contraceptives, this may change our cycle, and I'm not a doctor. I can't offer any kind of medical advice, but I can say that if you are syncing your cycle, meaning like knowing what phase you're in and knowing what you have the energy for, and whether you have a cycle or not, like this really just comes down to having the awareness. When you wake up in the morning, are you feeling how your body feels? Are you tapping into where your energy levels are at? Because that insight is going to give you the direction that you need to take on that given day. And as women especially, we do not wake up each and every day with the same amount of energy. We're very cyclic beings. So the more that we can honor that and make space for the wide range of energy levels that we may experience in a month or even in a given week, then that can really help us take advantage of that Ace energy by giving us the rest when we need it. I'm also getting Three of Wands. So this is definitely like the early stages of a project. Like I'm hearing like you, like no more are you going to sacrifice your own passions and projects, or even like passion projects for a relationship or for another person. Like you are stepping into this fiery, empowering energy, and don't be discouraged of how early on you might be in your path. Simply recognize what the vision is and commit to it. So like with the Three of Wands, like I'm getting that don't spend too much energy obsessing over the final goal, but instead remembering that the journey is the most important part. That's where the magic comes through. And having that vision, waking up, feeling that motivation, that spark of inspiration, even when there's challenges that lay ahead, that is more exciting than the final achievement, right? Because the achievement, when you achieve a goal, a new goal is birthed from it. So you spend most of your time on the journey, not at the destination, right? Like you reach a destination and then you continue on your journey to the next destination. So instead of revolving our life around the destination, which we spend most of our life not just sitting at a destination. We, especially if you're listening and you're a very transformative person, so you are constantly transforming and changing. And so the destination doesn't mean nearly as much as the journey and the change that happens on that journey. So we also have the Page of Pentacles. So definitely getting like really strong, like early birthing of a project, you know, with the page kind of representing like the child, the like a project in the early stages in its infancy. And so just remembering that like these opportunities are some of the most exciting that you'll look back on, and really allow yourself to soak up how exciting it is to be in these early planning stages where there's a lot of hard work ahead, but you have something to work towards. You have this purpose, you have this inspiration. And so I want to know what else I can channel about these creative projects, or especially with the Justice here, I want to know if there's anything else that collective needs to know. We've got the King of Cups. So I'm definitely feeling like your inner masculine is going to be very much learning to work with your inner feminine emotions. Like your inner masculine is not wounded anymore. Your inner masculine is comfortable with their emotions and is able to lead and be a protective authority figure while embracing their emotions. So allow your emotions to be the compass of your projects. Like when something feels good, follow that. You know, it's a very, you know, the masculine energy with the king is usually very straightforward and action taking. But there's also this duality with the water of the cups and how that is associated with emotions and feelings. And so I'm getting that like you need to be balancing both in order to have success in your projects. Like there's a balance between the masculine, which is orderly and has discipline and takes control, takes leadership, as well as that watery creation energy, you know, quite literally the ocean, you know, the womb of the earth, right? Like your emotions truly are where your visions should be coming from. That's heart-led desires, heart-led living. When you create visions from your heart and your feelings and your emotions, not your mind, right? So both of those in balance need to be present. So let's see if there's any other messages we can channel here. It's interesting because unlike the previous readings, this reading has been very much about not the twin flame, but focusing on self and focusing on projects, which I feel like is very significant. So we also have the King of Wands. So it's interesting because a few readings ago we got this card and it was very much channeling into the divine masculine being the twin flame, but following the King of Cups here, this has been such a big theme because we have the King of Cups and the King of Wands, both of which are masculine signs being kings, and so they're kind of representing they could be representing your inner divine masculine. They could also be representing your twin flames. So actually what's coming through really strongly right now, because I've been talking about your internal and like your own embodiment, but I'm starting to see, because with the cups and the wands, we're working with water and fire energy. And I spoke about this in a previous reading. So if you're interested in the masculine and feminine duality and balance, be sure to check out those readings because that came through really strongly through the cards. But basically, water represents the feminine and fire represents the masculine, and it's crucial on your twin flame journey for you to reach union with the self through balancing your inner masculine and inner feminine. And that's what ultimately leads to twin flame reunion, which you then recognize is not even the point, because once you've achieved inner union, then you've already reached that internal fulfillment. But what I'm getting here is that because you and your twin flame are the same soul, as you are working on balancing your internal feminine and masculine on an energetic level, they are mirroring that. So ultimately we're on a journey of divine timing. But when you balance your internal divine masculine, which is portrayed through the King of Cups and the King of Wands, you are mirrored by your twin flame on the energetic spiritual realm. And so then they begin to find their balance of their inner divine masculine, inner divine feminine, which is the cups and the wands. So I'm really feeling like this is like duality on top of duality. So it's a little bit quantum here, but I feel like this is a really strong message that is coming through, which is that you should be seeking balance of the masculine and feminine as you're planning these projects. And by doing so, you are overcoming these past more negative or hopeless mindsets because you're coming into union with yourself. So I want to see what else I can pull here. I'm going to pull some oracle cards. We've got clear endeavor. Yeah, I feel like this is so fitting because we got all of those cards about starting a new project. So I want to read from the guidebook for this card. This is number 39. So that can be an angel number for you. And with 39, clear endeavor, we have something you truly desire requires a bigger commitment from you. Yeah, I feel like this is really in touch with the justice that came through and feeling like you could never follow the spark of these projects while you were overgiving yourself and sacrificing yourself to this other person. But now that you are in this separation, or maybe you're deciding to separate, you are opening your energy towards this project that is ultimately going to lead to union of yourself. And this is exactly why this is so crucial, because there's no shortcuts to get here. You really have to go through this internal balancing and internal journey by disconnecting from your person if you don't have the tools to balance both your projects and your commitments with also having a relationship, especially for those who resonate with that. You really do require that separation so that you can redirect your energy back to yourself and have that time to reflect on what you want and commit to these projects, these passion projects, whether it's a creative project, a project that's going to bring you more money or material or financial success. But ultimately, you have to kind of go through these steps in order to reach that union of self. I'm getting the vision of like this creek or a river that you want to cross, and it feels like you can just walk across, but what you really need to do is take a trail that is farther, but it leads to a bridge, and that's the true way to get to the other side. This is the vision that I'm being given. So like you can't just have some external thing solve itself, or you can't force this to happen. you really do have to go down the path. You can't just simply will it to happen. You also have to take the action and go down that path and cross the bridge and really do the work yourself to get to that inner union. And most people in their lifetimes will not do this. They will not attempt to do it, or they will not know the right direction to go. And if you're listening to this, you are one of the few of this world who is on this twin flame journey and who is going to do it the right way. And this isn't about the moral right or wrong, but this is like you are committed to not taking any shortcuts, not using any cheat codes, but to, with a pure heart and pure intention, allow your soul's journey to unfold, no matter how much work, no matter how many cycles, no matter how much transformation is required of you. And that is a beautiful commitment to make. And if you're listening to this, you are not alone. And your angels and spirits want you to know that you have done so much incredible work, and they are so proud of you. And so keep going, keep pushing ahead, because you really are making significant waves. Everything you do that is based in love is having a strong ripple effect out towards the planet, and you are contributing to the evolution of the planet as you work to evolve your own soul. So that was a little tangent, but I'm going to go back to this card here. So clear endeavor. Something you truly desire requires a bigger commitment from you. This could be physical, emotional, or mental. Identify what your needs are at this time. Actually commit to this goal and be willing to put in the time to make it become reality. Commitment plus hard work will assist in bringing your goals to completion. Once you decide, give your best to everything that you do. It gives plenty of new opportunities for you to reach your goals in no time. Pay attention to signs along the way as nature works to assist you. Wow, yeah, I feel like that's a beautiful place to close this reading. I just want to channel one last thing, which is that this is the justice. This is you redeeming yourself. You're going down the path. You're going down the path that your soul has been itching for, that your soul needed in order to heal and evolve and graduate and level up to that next step. And so you truly are on such a noble pursuit. And if you simply decide, then you've already done it. The outcome is already done. So giving your best is inevitable when you decide that you've committed to this journey. And just know that your angels and guides are always near you, and there are always signs and guidance from nature that are encouraging you along your path. You are not alone. You are not against the universe, right? Like, there is no need to have resistance, because the universe and divine source energy is truly on your side. I'm seeing 333 on the timer, so, and 3344. So I really hope that this reading resonated with you. I would love for you to comment if anything did, and of course subscribe if you'd like to hear more twin flame energy updates. I'm going to be doing a lot more of them because the energy has just been so strong lately. So let me know what you think, and I would love to see you on the next one. Thanks for listening. Bye.